Is Majestic Princess just a newer ship for worn-out travelers that go to bed before 9 p.m.? Or could Majestic Princess be the step-up experience you've been looking for? Let's talk about this. Hey everyone, this is Matt with Keep On Cruising, and today we're taking a look at Majestic Princess. We're going to dive into the food, the entertainment, the service, and the overall experience of the ship to help you decide whether Majestic Princess is the right ship for you or the right ship for you to avoid. A little bit of background to set the stage. Majestic Princess is an approximately 144,000-ton Royal Class ship that can accommodate approximately 3,500 passengers at double capacity. Interestingly, similar to Norwegian's Joy, Majestic Princess was originally designed for the Asian market to primarily sail out of Shanghai. Of course, it no longer sails out of Shanghai. Things change, But this does impact many of the design choices around the Majestic, with a number of nods to Chinese aesthetics along with Chinese language signs. This makes it stand out a bit from the other Royal Class ships. This particular review is based upon our sailing, which spanned from the end of December and into January. Alright, background done and enough blathering. Let me dig down into the meat of the matter, starting with the food on board Majestic Princess. Now, for those of you who haven't sailed with Princess before, they actually have 3 different classes of dining broken into the included options, specialty casual restaurants, and then their specialty restaurants. Included food options with your base fare are the 3 main dining rooms, Allegro, Concerto, and Symphony, the massive World Fresh Marketplace, the buffet, the International Cafe, which serves up all your favorite coffee beverages, plus a varied selection of sandwiches, salads, and pastries, and the 2 Lido deck options, which are Alfredo Slice, which is a grab-and-go pizzeria, and the Salty Dog Cafe, which serves up burgers, dogs, fries. You can figure that one out. Specialty casual options include O'Malley's Irish Pub, Ocean Terrace Sushi, and Alfredo's Pizzeria, which offers sit-down family Italian dishes, as well as possibly the broadest selection of Neapolitan-style pizza at sea, made fresh to your table. Oh, and I forgot to mention, their pizza menu includes not only 8 standard varieties of pizza, along with 5 pizza recipes crafted especially for Princess by 13-time world pizza champion Tony Geminani. And then finally, the specialty restaurants, which include Crown Grill, which is a classic American steakhouse, Sabatini's Italian Trattoria, and the Catch by Rudy. Dining is a bit different, as Princess kind of lets you choose your own adventure with their upgraded all-inclusive packages. While you'll never go hungry with the standard fare options, upgrading to Princess Plus package entitles you to 4 casual food options per cruise, while Princess Premier offers unlimited casual and specialty dining. Unlimited. Alright, let's talk about where we ate and the biggest dining hits and misses we experienced on Majestic Princess. First up, let's talk about the included options. On our 6-day cruise, we ate at the main dining room. They share a rotating menu, all 3 of them. The World Fresh Marketplace, Alfredo Slice, and the International Cafe. We didn't get a chance to eat at Salty Dog Cafe, but here's a picture of their menu and you can check it out. First up, let's talk about the main dining room. We ate dinner at the main dining room on nights 1 and 4, as well as breakfast on day 3. The appetizers were a hit both nights, and we had an amazing French onion soup on night 1 with great salty sweetness and so much gooey cheese. On night 4, we had a perfectly prepared carpaccio with a bright arugula salad and a delicious lump crab cake with tangy, creamy horseradish mustard sauce. Entrees, though, were a bit more of a hit and miss. However, the short ribs on night 1 were a definite miss, as they were so fatty it was difficult to eat. They did offer to replace it, but after that I just didn't want to eat anymore. But the seared halibut on the night 4, however, had a delicious lemon butter sauce, and the sides were perfectly prepared. Broccolini, steamed carrots, and creamy potatoes. Yum. The desserts were all standout, and Thanks, Princess, for the no sugar options. No sugar lemon cream pie with orange coulis, sweet tart citrusy. Breakfast at the main dining room was fine. Everything was solid, but not spectacular. It was a very nice laid-back vibe, however. Still, I'd give the main dining room a respectable 6.85 overall, but one night was excellent, the other was kind of 50-50. Moving on to International Cafe, which is located on Deck 5 at the heart of the Grand Atrium. The cafe not only offers all your favorite coffee beverages, but also a rotating selection of sandwiches, wraps, and small bites, along with a nice selection of desserts, including no sugar for my other diabetic friends. We went here every single day for coffee, and most days for a snack or a treat, other than the fact that it is always popular. International Cafe really is a gem. Is it better than Cafe El Baccio on Celebrity? I don't know. They're a bit different. What I do know is I will give the International Cafe an 8 overall. Don't miss this included option. Let's talk a little bit about Alfredo Slice, which is the grab-and-go pizza spot up on the main Lido deck. To be fair, we only went there one time, which happened to be New Year's Eve. And I won't say this is the best pizza at sea, but after celebrating, it is more than satisfactory late-night pizza. Please don't hate me, but I'd say it's very comparable to Sorrento's on Royal Ships, a solid 6.5. But I gotta ask, have you been to Alfredo Slice or Sorrento's? What are your thoughts? Drop it in comments below. I'd love to know. Finally, World Fresh Marketplace. Let me preface this by saying this was our very first Princess cruise, and our top pick for a buffet previously was easily Ocean View Cafe on Celebrity. Easily. But seriously, the World Fresh Marketplace is not only huge with plenty of space, but the variety and breadth of options was fantastic, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Breakfast had real scrambled eggs, fried eggs, and omelets they were making, fresh as they were going, but it's really hard to impress with breakfast foods. Breakfast wasn't a miss, but don't expect it to be more satisfactory than what you're going to catch on other cruise lines. Lunches and dinners, however, are a very different story on Majestic Princess. Some of the best dishes we savored at lunch included a seafood salad with whole clams, shrimp, and scallops, and a nice citrusy sauce. Yum. A no sugar added key lime pie. Anyway, it had a nice key lime top with a creamy key lime center and a hint of key lime in the crust, as well as crispy fish, which had a nice crust but still had a nice moist flaky interior. There were some misses too, but mostly due to some silly choices that I made. Dinner was a step up from breakfast and lunch. In fact, we had never had dinner in the buffet before this cruise because it never appealed to us. But on this cruise, we found ourselves choosing World Fresh Marketplace for dinner twice with some really delicious dishes like chicken breast alla Valdostana, calamari fritti, and scallop ceviche. The seafood selections overall were always amazing. Considering it all, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'd give World Fresh Marketplace a 7.75. Is it better than Ocean View Cafe on Celebrity? I'm not sure, but if you've been to both Ocean View Cafe on Celebrity and World Fresh Marketplace, I would love to hear your opinion. Overall, the included food was very solid, and I think the main dining room menu could maybe use a little help, but I'd still give included dining a solid 7.5. Moving on to the specialty dining options, we visited Alfredo's Pizzeria on day one for some late night pizza, and let me tell you, they did not disappoint. We had a pesto pizza minus the mushrooms. Stephanie says, no mushrooms, but added grilled chicken to it. The pesto sauce was delicious. The tomatoes were fresh and juicy, and the umami from the olives was so good. The grilled chicken, it was fresh, grilled for us. Whoa. Wish I could have gone back again, but it'll have to wait until next time, unfortunately. We didn't have the chance to visit O'Malley's when they were open for lunch or dinner. They don't serve food all day, but they do have a lunch and dinner menu. I'll pop the menu up here. The reason is it was always busy for mealtime, which seems like a great sign. We'll also put this on our list for next time. Ocean Terra Sushi we didn't visit, but not because it was packed. We just aren't really sushi people. But here's their menu, and it looked like people enjoyed it. Have you tried out the specialty dining here on Majestic Princess? Let me know what you thought. Based on our one visit to Alfredo's Pizzeria, I know it's a small sample size, but since Alfredo's was so good, this comes out to an 8 out of 10 for the specialty casual dining options. All right, let's move on to the actual specialty dining. We had dinner at Crown Grill on night 2 and at Sabatini's on night 6. We didn't have the chance to visit the Catch by Rudy's, so again, that'll need to wait until next time. Seems like we really need to go back. Anyway, the menu looks very enticing. I mean, what do you think? Take a look. The appetizers at Crown Grill were really the standouts for me. I had crab cakes and a seafood bisque. The crab cakes had plenty of juicy crab meat and a nice exterior. It also had some tasty bits of relish in the cake, which brought a nice tart offset to the overall richness. So good. And the seafood bisque was delicious. Absolute umami bomb loaded with crab, shrimp, and lobster. So good. Both big hits. My main was filet mignon, which is probably my favorite cut of steak, and I have enjoyed it at many dinners. The steak was supposed to be medium, and it came out a little more medium well, which is a bit drier than I prefer. But the rub gave it a very nice, tasty crust. Not great, but solid. The creamed spinach that I ordered, however, was a real home run. Absolutely delicious. Overall, Crown Grill was a 7.75 for me, and my only regret is we didn't go a second time. We visited Sabatini's on our last night on Majestic Princess, and I wish I would have tried it sooner. It was that good. As at Crown Grill, I had 2 appetizers, starting with the ribollita, which is a Tuscan soup with tomato cannellini beans and lacinato kale. This was outstanding, absolutely outstanding. And I followed that with burrata e prosciutto crudo. Anyways, it translates to burrata, an 18-month aged prosciutto. And wow, the fresh mozzarella, it was creamy. It worked well with the tart, juicy grilled tomatoes and the umami from the delicious prosciutto. They topped this with some fresh black pepper. So good. For the main, fileo, oh dudes, I can't say this, sea bass fillet and fried artichokes. Turned out to be one of the best I've ever had on a cruise. No exaggeration. The branzino was expertly prepared, very fresh with no fishy taste, moist interior, crispy, tasty skin. The grilled artichokes had a nice crust on the exterior and a warm center that had been marinated in a delicious lemon-infused olive oil. And they finished it off with sweet, juicy cherry tomatoes. This was really excellent. For all these reasons, I am happy to give Sabatini's a 9 out of 10, which I believe is the best score I've ever given out. Really impressive. Now, as I mentioned previously, Princess offers different packages, and for this cruise we had the Premier package since we were celebrating New Year's. And that brought us another benefit, which is delivery of food and drinks to wherever we were on the ship, thanks to their awesome medallion technology. And on our last day, we opted to have our food delivered to us at Crown Bar while we were hanging out and listening to some live music. I had a 3-bean chili and a chef salad. The chili was fine, it had a good texture, but it was a little weak on the seasoning, which wasn't surprising. However, the chef salad was really good. The veg was all fresh, the ham and chicken were both solid. However, the tart Emmental cheese and rich, delicious blue cheese dressing really made this dish. As far as food quality goes, this option is a easy 7 out of 10 for me, but the vibe of finding your own spot and having the food brought to you where you are, that's a 10 out of 10. Definitely should have tried this out before our last day. Lesson learned. Overall, I'll give the food on Majestic Princess a very tasty 7.85 out of 10. It's so close to an 8. I wish the main dining room had been a bit better. I mean, it was still good, but the rest of the food options we tried really stood out. If you've sailed Majestic, I'd love to know. Am I right or am I wrong? Let me know. Food done, we're moving on to the entertainment zone. And if you're like us, entertainment is a big part of our cruise life because, well, when we're home, we don't go out all that often. So let's talk about the entertainment we caught on Majestic Princess. On night 1, we headed to the Princess Theater to catch Hawley Magic starring Zach Hawley, who we came to find out is a very accomplished illusionist from the UK. He did a number of street magic tricks that were not only intricate and well executed, but he wove everything together with entertaining stories, and the dude was absolutely hilarious. I don't normally like 2 types of performances, okay? Magic, because it's often boring and predictable, and clean comedy is just generally not that funny. Sorry. However, the magic was highly entertaining and the comedy hit hard, and for those reasons, I give Hawley Magic an 8 out of 10. On night 2, we headed to the Vista Lounge, which is another one of the entertainment venues that they have here on Majestic Princess, to catch Tim Nutt, a long-haired Canadian we were told was a little rough around the edges and winner of multiple comedy festivals. Oh, and I forgot, this was also supposed to be a clean set, and we've already covered how that normally goes for me. However, we were surprised again. This long-haired Canadian was deliciously sarcastic in his comedy and kept you riveted with a well-constructed set. This was another excellent 8 out of 10 for me. I would absolutely see his show again. On night 3, we saw a whole new set from Zach Hawley, this time in the Vista Lounge, and let me tell you what, this set was as good as the first. Same rating, same review, different show, enjoyed it. Night 4, we caught a very entertaining production that not only featured some very talented singers and dancers, but also amazing effects with light and video and sound. I would lean towards watching this again, definitely, 7.5. Also, night 4 happened to be a New Year's Eve celebration. So I know a lot of people think that Princess cruises are for sleepy older cruisers, but I can assure you, on this cruise at least, that wasn't the case. New Year's Eve, of course, I'm sure they notched it up a few levels, and there were 4 different New Year's celebrations going on simultaneously in different venues on the ship. Personally, we decided to hang out in the Grand Atrium area, which had a more traditional TV feel to it, like what you see watching it at home before the ball drops. It had lots of live music, dancing. All the bars in the atrium were popping, and at midnight they had their own ball drop. Also, did I mention I met Santa Claus? But back on track. New Year's on Majestic Princess, definite 9. We ended up staying up until 1 a.m., and we're normally the people back in our room no later than 10. On night 5, we took a more laid-back approach, and we caught VOP Duo live at the Crown Bar. As her name kind of infers, this was a 2-piece unit with a super versatile, talented singer and a very proficient pianist with some recorded background tracks. This was not the high energy of the previous nights, but we were looking for a chill evening on night 5, and this definitely fit the bill. I'd give this chill evening a very solid 7. No doubt this will happen again. Chill just permeates the Crown Bar, and it was definitely one of our favorite venues, maybe even our favorite. But you know what? Majestic Princess was saving the best for last, because on our last night we caught their signature production show, Fiera, which was supposed to center on a love story to circus. Interesting, I thought. I like circus-style shows, and let me tell you, this show did not disappoint. Everything about it oozed talent and creativity and excitement with drama. Dancers, singers, amazing choreography, wonderful story, and some of the best effects I have ever seen at a production show at sea. This is easily one of the best Broadway-style shows that we've been able to enjoy. And for that reason, I'm going to give Fiera a very well-deserved 9 out of 10. It was that good. Have you seen Fiera? What do you think? One of the main entertainment venues was Princess Live, which was a smaller theater that hosted trivia and presentations, as well as a plethora of game shows, and I believe karaoke. Unfortunately, we didn't have a chance to catch anything here. There's a lot going on, folks. But they also have the Princess Live Cafe outside the theater, which has all your favorite coffee beverages, as well as a full bar. And yeah, we stopped there quite a few times. Now, we also happened to spend quite a bit of time in the beautiful casinos on Majestic Princess. Yes, they have a very large non-smoking and a nice but smaller non-smoking casino. Both well laid out with a great selection of slots and table games. We enjoyed our time in the casino on Majestic Princess a lot. And I'll leave it at that. You can figure that out. The final part of the entertaining experience on board was from the cruise director, Sean. Sean was showing up all over the ship. He was very engaging with passengers, and he was just a lot of fun at events. He's one of the better cruise directors we've had, so for Sean, I'm going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. Our entertainment experience was really satisfying on this cruise. Bringing us to service, because we all know how bad service can kill off an otherwise pleasant cruise. Fortunately, this was not an issue on Majestic Princess. Quite the opposite, in fact. This had some of the best service we've ever had. Starting with embarkation, we did pre-check-in and had our medallion mailed to us in advance. We'll circle back to that medallion in the ship section later, but it basically allowed us to walk right onto the ship. And as we found a seat up on Deck 6 to try to get connected to the ship's Wi-Fi, a server walked up to us and asked if we wanted anything from the bar. Yes, please? And before we were even done with Wi-Fi, we had 2 glasses of Sauvignon Blanc. Thanks, Ivan. Appreciated. Service in the food venues was excellent everywhere. Plenty of staff, no long waits required, and a very nice contrast to the 4 mainline cruise lines. And always accommodating and helpful. Special call-outs to Maurizio and Anne in the World Fresh Market, Joy in the Crown Grill, and Tommy and Marvin in the main dining room. Thank you, guys. Bar staff, both bartenders and servers, was also excellent, friendly, engaging, and personal. And because they were well-staffed, they had a chance to get to know you. Special call-outs here to Discoto at Double Diamond, Darwin at Bellini's, who always remembered our drinks, and Arvin at our favorite place, Crown Bar, that always called us by name. Great service. Bar service in the casino also readily available. Fortunately, we had no need for the customer service desk or medical, but easily service was a 9 on this cruise, and as you know, I don't give out 10s. We've covered food, we've covered entertainment, we've talked about service, but how was the actual ship? And if I had to pick up one word, I think I'd go with stunning. From the moment you walk into the classy, elegant, grand atrium, you feel like you are in a special experience. And they took huge advantage of this space as an entertainment central at night and music all around. And also as like a central gathering hub during the day. The theater was absolutely gorgeous with some of the best effects you've seen at sea, and the dining spaces and bars spectacularly themed and maintained. And the pool deck, just look at these pans. Wow. And then there was the Hollywood Club, Solarium and Conservatory. This was definitely another of our favorite spots. The solarium was not only beautiful, but covered and temperature controlled. And this is important because on some ship solariums, for example, we were just on Royal Caribbean's Grandeur of the Seas, they're not temperature controlled, and they're more like a sauna than you'd enjoy. But not here at the Hollywood Club Solarium. It also features a lovely bar and a beautiful pool and hot tubs. As you move further forward from the solarium area, you're going to come into the Hollywood Conservatory, which is this amazing space with all these quiet areas to read or work, as well as live plants and plant art, a huge chess set, a selection of board games and card games available to play. Oh, and did I mention the beautiful ocean views from here? Really stunning. And finally, let's talk a little bit about the medallion technology that Princess has integrated into their ship. It sounded magical to me, and it didn't disappoint at all. The medallions have near-field technology which communicates with various systems on the boat to make your life easier and provide a better experience. A few fun things we liked was being able to walk up to our stateroom door and the door recognized us and it unlocked. If you're carrying stuff, you don't got to put down everything and dig for a card. It just unlocks. Do you want to order a drink in the casino? You don't need to stay in one spot. You can move wherever you want. The server can find you because of the medallion. And what about that food delivery service? Yep, made possible by the medallion. And then one of my absolute favorites, have you ever been waiting to order a drink at a bar and then someone walks up and demands service now because they were here the longest, I'm next in line? I'm sorry, sir, but it says here that there are 3 people in front of you. We'll get to you when it's your turn. We saw this actually happen, and it really impressed us, but, I'm a bit of a tech nerd. Anyways, we really loved this ship, the design, the decor, the layout, the technology, and the venues. For us, we'd give a superb 9 out of 10 for the ship overall. And if we total it all together, we bring food, entertainment, service, and ship. I'm going to give Majestic Princess an 8.5 out of 10. We really love this ship. I'm certain we're going to sail her again. I got to ask, have you sailed Majestic Princess? And if you have, do you agree? Thank you so very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed our review of the beautiful Majestic Princess. And if you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up. That really helps us out a lot. And, if you like more cruise content like this, please give us a subscribe here on YouTube. And remember to check us out on our other platforms. This has been Matt from Keep On Cruising. Until next time.